Hi, my name is Charlotte Bryan. I'm one of the nurses from Be Smoke Free, and I'm going to be showing you the basics on how to sort out and set up one of the vapes that we offer from one of our clinics. So basically we use the Totally Wicked Scope S. So this is the box that you'll see when you come to the drop-in and pick up a vape. This is exactly what you're going to get, and I'll show you the different items that's inside it. So obviously, we've got our charging cable, we've got some extra rubber rings that go around the inside of the tank to seal it, and we've got an extra atomizer head, which I'll explain to you in a little minute. So first things first, we'll take apart the vape and see all the different components that make it up. So if I just take this apart, there we go. So we start off with the main component of the vape. So here is your power button. And here is the little port that you use to charge it. Like I said before, you get the charging cable inside the box, and you also get a wall adapter as well when you first get it, so you can plug it straight into the wall, so there's no mucking around with finding plugs. So your main component, this is where your battery is housed, and obviously this is what lights up as well when you're using the actual vape. It says we've got the atomizer, which is the important part. So this is where the vape liquid actually goes inside, and this is what heats it up and obviously vaporizes it and turns it into that water vapor that you can smoke. And that literally just connects into the main component, like so. We have our tank, which is just a little acrylic piece, and it just looks like glass, and that just fits in on the top like this. And then finally, you've got your mouthpiece on top, which is the part that you actually smoke from. And that screws onto the top of the component like that. And that's your main vape. So the first thing to remember when you first ever start is every time you use a new atomizer head, so this will be when you first get the vape, but also anytime that you change the atomizer head. Now the atomizer head normally lasts about 2 weeks or so, depending on how often you're smoking it, but you'll be able to tell if it needs changing because you will get kind of a burning taste in your mouth. So you'll know it'll need a different one put in. You do get a spare one inside your box when you first get it as well, and we also provide these if you need any extra in the time that you're with us, because the treatment program is for 12 weeks and you might need a few more in that time. So to start off, the first thing you've always got to remember is you've got to prime your atomizer before you put it into the vape. So that's a really complicated way of saying that you need to put a little bit of e-liquid in it first, just so we're not flooding it and giving it too much. So the way you do that is there's 2 tiny little holes on the side of the atomizer here, and you want to put the tiniest drop inside it, barely anything at all, just so that it's got a little bit of e-liquid in to soak through. Once you put that little drop inside, you just leave it inside the component like that, and just leave it for 5-6 minutes, just to allow that e-liquid to soak into the atomizer, just so that you can start smoking it normally. So once that's all ready to go, you can use your e-liquids, which I've got a selection of here that we offer. It says, and you literally just drop them. So if I show you the different components inside. So then we just take this off, and you've just got a little dropper, just like kind of an eye drop or ear drops even. And the way to fill it up is, this is a test one, so I'm not going to fill it up completely, but you just drop it inside there. So inside the actual glass, and as you can see, a little bit just dripping down in there. So the thing that I'd always remember is just try and keep it above these little holes that we put the dropper in before, just to kind of make sure that the atomizer doesn't burn dry, and obviously it burns out a little bit quicker, which means you'll be coming to us for some spares. And once your tank is full and you're ready to go, you're ready to turn the vape on. So the way that you do that is you just have a look at that power button that I showed you in the beginning, and you just press it 5 times fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see that the LED is lit up there. So when you're ready to smoke, you hold it down with one button and just inhale through the mouthpiece. I'd usually start off with a nice small puff first, just to get the heat going, and then you can start inhaling as normal. And to turn it off again, it's dead simple, just 5 times fast again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll flash 3 times and it'll be off. Okay, so flavours wise, part of the e-liquids. So the one that I just opened there is our menthol flavour. We've also got mixed fruit, tobacco and roll-up tobacco. And all of these are offered in 3 different strengths as well, which is the medium, the high and the low. So we start off with the high one, which is 1.6% nicotine or 16 milligrams, 1% nicotine, which is 10 milligrams, which is our medium strength, and finally the low strength, which is 0.6%, so 6 milligrams. And depending on where you are with your smoking and how many you smoke a day, you'll pick the best one that's for you, and then over the 12 weeks we'll slowly start tapering you down. Okay. So we usually start off with the vape, 4 liquids when you first start with us, and obviously depending on how many you're using, that will be decided on how many you keep getting. So the treatment program runs for 12 weeks. We usually offer it as a combination therapy as well, which is just a fancier way of saying that we give you 2 products at once, and that's normally in combination with a vape, your e-liquids, and either a 24-hour or a 16-hour patch. So some of the main problems that we see with vapes quite often is sometimes you'll find that they're either not heating up or that they're spitting a little bit of liquid at you, or again, like I mentioned previously, you'll get a burning taste. Usually that's something to do with the atomizer itself. So the best thing to do is always to take it out and then empty any liquid into a paper towel before you do this, otherwise you'll have it dripping all over your fingers. Just make sure if it's not heating up properly that it is screwed in nice and tight, because sometimes if it's not touching the inside of the atomizer to the actual component, it won't heat up, just for safety. So just make sure that you're doing that. Another thing as well is if you've not primed them correctly and they've either got too much, which is called flooding, too much e-liquid can cause that spitting that you might have, and too little can cause it to burn out a lot quicker, and you'll be able to tell because it'll taste burnt when you actually come to take an inhale. And there's easy ways to solve that. If it tastes burnt, then you might need to replace the atomizer head and give it a fresh one, which we said you get your spare inside your box. Or if it is flooding, then a good thing that a client told me is you can actually just give it a nice hard flick, and that clears the inside of this right here. If you still find it spitting liquid though, it's always best just to empty it out, give it a clean, and change it for a fresh atomizer head. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful, and I'll give you some tips and tricks, hopefully make your vape use a little bit easier when you first start. So we are Be Smoke Free, and everyone that's inside Greater Manchester has a Manchester address or a Manchester GP is welcome to come and get a free vape and free NRT support. And our number is 0161 823 4157.